Welcome everybody to the Blue Collar Bros. We are on episode 6. We got our good friend Chris Lozano here from Rev Electric. And Chris just went out on his own about the same time I did. When did you go on your own?
Like November.
Okay.
Beginning of November, maybe. End of November.
I think that's when I officially went all in. I was like October and I kind of tested the waters a little bit.
Yeah.
Did a couple, make sure hey, I think I could do this. Before I was let me
That's
do
exactly
this
what I was, man.
So we'll get this started. I got a couple questions here for you lined up, and then let's see. Okay, go ahead and introduce yourself. Just a real quick intro for all the people who...
So, I'm Chris Lozano. I did the apprenticeship through the IBEW, 5 years. I was a journeyman for 3 years, something like that. And then I started Rev Electric in November-ish. Can't remember exactly. I think it was beginning of November. That was the game plan from the beginning.
Was it?
Yeah, for sure. As soon as I started at Arrow, before the apprenticeship, I was
okay, that's
interesting.
interesting.
I can definitely do this. I can definitely get there, but I don't know. It's kind of intimidating, starting anything, obviously, especially something like that, because at that time I'm doing hospitals, doing mills. I'm there's no way I could do this. Actually, I don't. You know what I mean? It's so much money.
Because that's the big job.
Yeah. But then as you go through, you get put on these little jobs, and you're oh, this is totally manageable.
Yeah,
I can grow and
I
do
can
this
take
stuff.
a couple of these and really go with it. Yeah.
So then I started doing that, and like I said, my last job, I was right before I started my own thing in November. I was doing service work, so
okay.
I'm pretty much running my own thing right now. It was a really good confidence booster because everything was going great. I mean, it's not much different. You're in a truck on your own.
Yeah.
You're making your own appointments basically. I was if there's ever a time to do it, I mean, now's the time to give it a shot, while I'm young, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you can recoup. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about our situations, I keep my ticket up. So
Right, me too.
just go right back.
So it's a parachute.
Yep, absolutely.
Really.
Yeah.
We went through the hard part. We did the 5 years of apprenticeship training.
Yeah.
We are a journeyman wireman, and we can go anywhere and sign the book.
Yeah.
And go back to work. So I mean, that's the sacrifice you make going to class 2 nights a week for 5 years, and now it gives us that little bit of safety cushion so we can try this on our own.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then if things don't work out, we just go back to being an employee.
Yeah, and it's funny because I always toss this around my head because people always say, you always hear burn all bridges, so you don't even think about no plan B, plan A, all energy.
Burn the boats.
Yeah.
You want to take over the island, burn the boats.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that's the best idea.
Yeah, I got 2 kids, man. I was I need plan B to be there.
Yeah, for your situation.
I'm all in, but if I gotta get braces for a cow, I gotta go back to Bruce or whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever it is.
Yeah. I love that you said that was the plan from the start, because I noticed the first job I did, it was a 2-man job. We did a Taco Bell, and I was we were thrown to the wolves, and the guy who actually ran it knew nothing about commercial work, or he was in a mill. So I was kind of running the job, and we did this together and figured out the blueprints, and we were working with the GC. I'm I can do this.
Yeah.
And that was before, that was just getting in. I was I can do this. And then I found out through the grapevine, I don't know if it was true, about how much they made. And I thought, wow, that took us about 3 months. If I did 4 of these in a year, I could make, it was over maybe $100,000. And I'm thinking that's if I pay myself first.
Yeah.
Because they paid me and that's what they cleared. I'm thinking wow, why aren't more people trying to do this? So I would talk to guys. And we had this discussion so many times, me and Danny Slater. I'd be man, would you do this if you can make $30,000 in 4 months? And he's no. I'm no.
So what's the reason?
So it's just the mindset of whether you want the added stress, and
and there's a lot.
There's a lot, yeah.
Especially when you're talking Taco Bell's or like it's crunch time, like if anything's messed up.
Commercial is like every day that you don't have them up and running past their deadline, like you're costing them thousands of dollars.
Absolutely.
So like you can't be the reason that they're past deadline.
Yeah, and that's it's definitely stressful. I'm not in that situation.
Me neither. Not
yet. I'm sure I'll get there because I mean I'm just a worrier by like nature. I just think everything's gonna go wrong. So like for like adding an outlet, I'm like, what if this? What if that? What if this? So like I ran jobs, so it's similar. But at the end of the day, I mean, even if I burn the place down, it's the company that I work for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now,
you'll just go somewhere else.
Yeah, like I'll get blackballed or whatever. But like but now like it's all on me. Like it's everything has to go great. So like to run a Taco Bell, I mean, I probably wouldn't sleep the whole time. Like
to actually be the guy
to it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
To be the guy who's the contractor
and who made the bid. You know,
and especially I've been on these jobs where they're like, they haven't paid the company yet, and they're putting all these changes in, and they're like in this weird area where like they owe the guys money, like they still have to pay the workers, and they're still waiting on this huge check.
Yeah,
and it's like if you bite off more than you can chew too early, you can sink real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you can't take that kind of hit.
Yeah. That's the other thing I've learned is like just cash flow is king. Like, I mean, like I said, I'm not at that stage. It's just me, but I've realized like if you don't have cash flow for material, and most importantly, guys, you know what I mean, and you start running into those issues, now you have a whole other. You know what I mean? In our scenario, you have the haul on you. You're disappointing these guys, and you still need them to come wire the. You know what I mean? Because you still didn't get paid. So it's like you got to be careful with what you bite off. So that's where I'm at. I'm just like plugging along day to day. If I can, pay my checks and just grow, slowly.
I always thought that would be such a great asset for the union, for them to bring in a couple guys who ran work, who went out of business, or maybe couldn't last financially, and they just like kind of ran out of cash flow to the point where they were like, I gotta go back to work. I can't, I'm just waiting on this company to pay me. Maybe they stuck them with the bill. Yeah. But I would love to have had a couple of those guys and talk about, and successful ones. Too.
Yeah.
Here are the do's, here are the don'ts. You know, that would have been, to me. But a lot of guys, like I said, the mindset is just like, this is it. This is what I want to do. I show up to work every day. They tell me what to do. I do it. I go home, and everybody lives happily ever after. Yeah. So it's all about personality and who you are as a person.
And like for me, also like, I just picked an electrician because college was nothing else was working out. And I was like, all right, so I'm going to do the trades. And then I was like, which one makes a lot of money? And then I was like, all right, I'm going to go from there. And then on top of that, they're like, well, you don't pay for schooling. You just go to the apprenticeship. And I was like, great, because I don't have the money to do that. So like, let's do that. I could care less about what craft I do. I just like, you know what I mean?
It is fulfilling work.
All of it, like carpentry, masonry. It's just very fulfilling. So that part of it is not like particularly like my passion of being an electrician, but I do find like the business end of it very like appealing and exciting, and like that part of it is fun. So that was another part that I was like, I want to do that side of it.
Yeah, it is like a new game almost. Like,
yes, absolutely. Yeah. Like, all of it, like margins, bids,
because that stuff, you're playing that game now, and that's something that like most people don't get to do.
But definitely. There's great mechanics out there that are 100 times better than me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Have no interest in doing that,
It's funny because just because you go through this training and you get your 5 years in, you still might not be the best socially skilled person, because that works for some journeymen where they can run. You watch, they work like their pants are on fire. They're just going like 8 hours straight. They're hungover. They don't care. They don't care what the situation is.
Dude.
They're going. But then the GC comes up to talk to them, and they have no people skills at all.
Yeah.
So, you know,
you see that a lot. I feel like I feel like I don't know. Construction's just like this thing, and I think it's really growing. I was reading. I'm on like Reddit all the time, and I was reading some thread, and it was like an old timer was talking about like we're just now starting to get like nice young professionals in the trade, and not obviously that's a general statement, but like before it was like it wasn't an option. It was like go to college.
Yeah.
So it almost unfortunately turned out to be like a last resort to a lot of people. And now, you know, everybody's kind of like, no, you could do whatever you want. You know what I mean? All of it works out. All of it pays bills. So now you're getting guys that are really intelligent.
Yeah,
you know?
This is their choice. They're actually choosing to go to do something.
It's bringing a new dynamic. You're not getting like...
the bottom of the barrel. Or maybe last resort. We don't want to say like everybody in is the last resort, but...
that's what it was for me.
Some trades you're like, oh yeah, that guy had no other option.
Yeah, for sure. So, and like they make it work, and it's great, and it's awesome. But like you said, when it gets into that professional setting, it becomes like a little. You see the differences in the worlds of like a lawyer or like a carpenter, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now I think that gap's starting to close. You know, you have a lot of like. Just professionals all around. So,
yeah, for sure. We want to plug real quick. This is the last week for the giveaway. We are doing a giveaway. We have 3 options. We have a DeWalt 10 tool set. We have a $500 cash payout, or we have a $750 service credit where me or Cody will give you a credit towards a job that you want. So this is the last week, and we put up St. Patrick's Day merchandise. And those are twice the point. So every $5 you spend, you get 2 entries instead of 1. So make sure you check that out if you haven't got in it yet. It closes Friday.
Friday at midnight?
Friday at
midnight. Yeah, Friday at midnight.
And we're also doing today, while we're doing this podcast, anybody who's watching, make sure you tap in, leave a comment, and we are going to give away a free shirt today. Do a little minute to win it. So you have to be watching. We're going to pick a winner, and then you have 1 minute. You have 2 minutes to claim it, in case you go to the bathroom or something. So Justin's in already, starting to get some people already. We're going to move on to the next thing. It's good. So you already had your own truck when you started?
No.
I
was driving a service truck, and like basically like I left, and we just had the service truck and our minivan, our children mover. And then I was like, all right, well, I'm quitting this job. I lost the service truck. I was like, I need to find something like immediately. And I just went out.
So you went out, dual purpose.
I could not find a van. Okay. This market right now is like insane. And everybody else talking to me like, you need to get a van. And I was like, no, I'll be okay. Got the truck, man. I wish I got a van because it's such a pain in the butt.
For you guys, a van is definitely much better than a truck.
Cody was a nurse.
Yeah.
And then decided like it's time to stop being a nurse.
That's sweet.
And did you have the truck before or after?
So for the first time in my entire life, I didn't have a truck. 'Cause when I was doing home care, I had a Jeep, so the Jeep has a hatch, and it just makes it so much easier to get all your supplies from the back of a hatch.
Yeah.
Because you're running in and out of houses pretty much all day long. So my first month, I was doing construction out of a Grand Cherokee.
Yeah.
And then pretty much that was the only truck that I could find.
Yep.
So I got out of my Jeep, got into the truck, pretty much even Stevens, so I took it and I had a couple configurations on my truck. I had toolboxes, a couple different setups, and then I got the service cap now. So it's like, that's the way to go.
Yeah, mine had the tonneau cover on it, which is great because it can at least keep things dry or whatever. But I gotta honestly, all I gotta do is throw like a 2x4 in there, but like everything always slides to the front. And it's like, or like if, you store stuff back there, like the parts and pieces and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we were talking about spending money before we went on tools and things like that. Finally, I was like, all right, I gotta buy some storage. Okay. You know what I mean? Some toolboxes, some material crates, things like that.
Did you already have tools?
Oh yeah.
You had your own tools.
Yeah. I mean,
Did you buy? So when I went out, I actually started doing work in my Saturn Ion, my 2-door.
Awesome.
Put PVC pipe, 10-foot sticks from the trunk to the window.
Yeah.
And I did like 3 jobs like that. Now my dad has a truck, so like I would, use his truck if I had to, but we definitely, the first couple of jobs I was using that, and I was like, the plan was like, I got to get a van or a truck, and I looked at both really. But my first job, before I started anything, I have a set of like Craftsman drills and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a set of DeWalt, like, I need some good tools to start.
Yeah.
So did you buy like any new tools, or were you kind of set?
I was set because I don't know. This is like, I don't know. Everybody does this, but as soon as I started, somebody wants you to like put a ceiling lamp up, and you get like a little bit of side work here and there.
Yeah.
And I was getting into it, and then we started remodeling my house, and like we did some serious remodeling. So I was like, I mean, it's totally worth it for me to buy a nice kit. You know what I mean? So I just jumped on the DeWalt platform. Like, I don't know. I bought like a DeWalt, or I bought a drill impact Sawzall. I think I had like the stereo and everything.
Okay.
That was like 6 years ago I bought that.
Okay.
I'm still rocking that. Just buy new batteries. I mean, as long as I don't beat the stuff up. But now that it's every day, I'll probably have to upgrade here soon. But yeah, I pretty much had everything. I had to buy an extension ladder. That was like the only thing.
Okay.
For services, for service masks and stuff like that.
I did buy an extension ladder.
Yeah.
I had a little 5-foot ladder, so I use that mostly. And but the DeWalt set, I bought that, and then I'm slowly acquiring tools like the fish sticks.
Yep.
I did a job where we were I had my fish tape, and I was trying to get through something, and we just wasted so much time. Because I didn't have them, and I was like, man, I really don't want to run to Home Depot.
Yeah.
And in the end, I would have saved probably 2 hours running to Home Depot, coming back, because as soon as I got the fish sticks, like a minute, and it was done.
Yeah.
Instead of messing around, I'm getting caught in the ceiling.
But you need that though. Like you need that learning experience. Well, you need the tool, and then you also need that learning experience.
Oh yeah, because now I'm like, I'll just get it before I start.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You're all over it. Yeah.
Because it's costing me more money to struggle.
Yep.
Than it costs for the tool.
Because you already know that I need this. So I might as well go buy it, because if I try to struggle, it's just going to be a nightmare. Then you're going to get frustrated. You're going to waste time and money, and you're going to buy it in the end anyway. So you might as well just go buy it.
Yeah, now you gave 2 hours up.
Right, yeah.
So that's the most expensive fish stick you probably could have, you know what I mean? Like that's how I always played it.
Yeah.
Oh, this drill bit was super expensive. I should have just bought it. Yeah, totally.
And I just did that the other day too. Now I got one of those flexible drill bits.
Dude, those things are awesome.
I spent so long trying to find where this wall came down.
Yeah.
I was off by this much, and in the end, I was perfect. I was there, and my fish stick was cut. I drilled a round hole into the wood, and my fish stick was hitting that corner like that for an hour. No matter what I did, it was going right there, there.
Yeah, and then everything starts compounding in that moment, because I'm like, I'm not getting anything done. Yeah. You know what I mean? I knew I should have bought this thing anyway. I just start compounding in my head. So it's like, that just speaks to just, you know what you got to do, prepare, put that aside, figure that into, the next few jobs. It's going to pay itself off in no time.
Right.
That's a funny thing. I feel like one of the things they asked us coming into the apprenticeship was name a time you had a job and didn't have the right tool. What did you do? And I at that point you're like, oh, I don't know. But now you're like, I'll go get the right tool.
Yeah. Well, to add to that though, I worked with some journeymen though that man, they could make some stuff work with nothing.
Yeah.
And
so
I try to I try to channel that something. I'm like, all right, what would this guy do? And I'm like, I gotta figure this out. I gotta look.
Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you can't leave. It's.
Well, yeah.
Or you're on jobs that the closest anything is like a half hour, 45 minutes away. It's like, I gotta make something's gotta click here.
Yeah.
So when you started out, was there any specific work that you were targeting? I heard you say you've been mentioning services a lot. Have you been?
Yeah, so that's not.
That's not it?
So, I am. Everybody's like, you gotta have a business plan, and like you would think that, like I said, like from the start, I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start my own thing. No business plan at all. Not an accurate one, anyways. Because when I went out on my own, I was like, well, I'm gonna just start going to bid meetings, and I'm gonna bid jobs. I'm gonna build probably houses, and whatever. Start with houses and go from there. Well, I've yet to do any houses or any like new construction, but I've been able to stay super busy. It turned all into service work because I think right now people have a hard time booking like just an electrician to come,
Anybody.
Put a ceiling light in.
Anybody.
Any trade at all.
Yeah.
But like particularly that because you got these guys, like the Bruces and the like. I don't know their details, so I don't know if they do service work a lot, but I would imagine that's not where their bread's being buttered. You know what I mean? Like, so they're not going to focus on that. So more times than not, those are my calls. Like, hey, can you put outlets here? Or, hey, I lost a leg of my half. Well, that's not what they say, but half of my house, the power went out, stuff like that. And I've been able to stay busy with that. So for now, I've kind of shifted. It was like, I'm going to be this big, house builder or whatever, get in with the GC and get work that way. To me, like now I'm like, well, now I can play it slower because you need some capital to do that to, pay guys to buy material for a whole house, and I'm kind of able to just keep saving up with, adding outlets at this house, doing a service upgrade here, doing, a hot tub, a pool or whatever. I mean, there's tons of work out there for it. I didn't think there was, but
so like not having a business plan starting out kind of was your plan.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what was out there for you, for you to get on. So if you would have came out and said, I only want to do this, you may have gone so long and never gotten a call for that specific job that you wanted to do.
Yeah, you're
so
totally
leaving it open, now you can mold it into what you want.
Yeah, and it's kind of like what we were saying because I started with no business plan. I was just like, yes, man. Whatever you need, dude. Like, I will do it. You know what I mean? Like,
that gets old.
Yes, absolutely. And but like now I'm starting, like you said, I'm starting to mold my own little niche, and I'm like, I like this work. It's consistent. I can grow it.
Yeah.
It's not more than I can handle. So yeah, I'm just kind of rolling with that now. That is the business plan now.
Yeah,
I mean, at least for now.
And you think like, everybody you meet is a contact, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of the times you do a good job at somebody's house and they're referring you to somebody else and you get more work that way. So I think eventually everything does compound.
Yeah.
So, you do these houses and pretty soon one of those people will work at somewhere they need some maintenance done at their work.
Yeah.
Eventually, you do grow into a Bruce and Marilee's or, one of those things. But I feel like unless you have a contact or a real connection, this is where it's at. You gotta you gotta grind it out. You gotta get your name out there.
I think it's more organic that way too.
You know
what I mean?
I've earned it.
Like if you force it, like I feel like that's like you were saying, like you get into those situations where like you gotta like rob Peter to pay Paul, and like you're in over your head, But like you said, like you build off a contact, and then like you said, no one to say no. You know what I mean? If Newcastle says, hey, I want to wire no, you're not doing a new school. You know what I mean? Like, the no when that time comes, I guess.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that you were on this, but I'm on it too. And Cody's never tried it, but Angie's List. Let's talk to the people a little bit about Angie's List real quick because there's a lot of learning. There's a lot of information that you don't really know about. So when the customer fills out a lead on Angie's List now sends that lead to me and you. And they also charge me a fee just to get that lead. So a lot of people are just messing around, kicking the tires. I get charged no matter what, whether you are serious or not.
That's insane.
And think about, insane. I don't know how many people they're sending that lead to.
I don't think they're I don't think they need to tell you that either.
No,
they're not. So they're not upfront with this.
No.
Or is this kind of like a fine?
Well, I don't know if they
print?
tell the customers that.
I don't think they do.
Because the customer thinks like, oh, like this just gets me to contractors. They come to my house, I'll pay them. It's free for me. I'm sure they have to pay like a subscription or whatever.
I think to be an Angie, like not a pro, but a customer, I think they do need to pay like a subscription fee or something like that.
Yeah. So then they don't really know, because I've had a lot of customers where like electric car chargers, I'll call them and say like, I got a lead one time. It was 11:30 p.m. I called them the next day at 8:00 a.m. because I don't call anybody before 8.
Yep, absolutely.
And he was like, oh, I was just messing around. I was just like, I changed my mind. I was like, in 9 hours, you changed your mind.
Yeah,
While you were sleeping, you had a bad dream about an electric car.
So you should be refunded that money.
No.
That's insane.
So I did find out. I will say I've heard nothing but horror stories about Angie. But like at the beginning, I was like, I need to try everything. For myself. Their customer service has been like very phenomenal, like very proactive. They're like, we see that you're not getting these leads, or you're not getting as many as you wanted to, or whatever. And they like customize your profile right on the phone with you. And he told me that you could refund credits for guys like that, or who gave this. Like I had one that turned out to be a job, and I got it. His wife filled out the request for an electrician, and he filled out the request for an electrician.
Yeah.
I got charged for both.
Yeah.
Even though I got the job and I made money off of it, they both requested. I got both leads. It was the same job.
Wow.
And I was like, well, that's not fair.
No,
and that's when I found out about the credit.
They will
thing.
give me money.
They reimbursed me for one of their,
So I will say this too. I'm not pro Angie's, but I'm not anti.
Yeah.
So for me, there's no other way to get out in front of new customers with a new business unless you're going to do some kind of marketing where you're going to roll out, you're going to advertise or do something. So and when you go on your own, you need jobs now, today. I need jobs in a hurry. So I will say this, a lot of the leads, and I've had problems with some of them, they will credit you, but a lot of the leads where they'll change their mind or they're just kicking the tires, they will tell you, we sell intent. Yeah. So if the customer had intent at any point to get the job, then we're sorry.
Because the intent was there.
Because I called on this guy. I'm like, hey, I called him right away. He doesn't want the job done. They're like, well, when he was filling out the profile, he wanted it done. So there's nothing we can do for you.
We sold you a chance.
Yeah. Basically, that's it. Yeah. And the higher the job value costs, the bigger the lead fee. So a service. Yeah. They might charge you $80.
Yeah, and that's another thing I was going to add is like somebody who knows nothing about electrical work, they're like, this is probably an exaggeration, but like they're like, this outlet went bad. All it needs is replaced. But they're thinking the breaker is bad, the panel's bad, I need a panel upgrade, update, whatever. That's what they request. You show up and they're like, hey, this plug stopped working. Yeah. And you just replace the plug and it works. Well, you just paid $80 for that lead fee and it wasn't an actual panel upgrade. Right. They don't credit you for that. Like you eat that. Yeah. And then I tossed with myself, I'm like, should I build the fee into the price? And then I'm like, that's probably not fair. I'm going to bank on just building like a clientele with this person. You know what I mean? Building a good relationship with them and, make it up, down the road.
So I had a guy call me about a ceiling fan, but on the lead fee, it was a panel upgrade.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was talking to this guy on the phone, and he's telling me what's going on, and I told him, I said, I'm so sorry. I can't come do this job because if I take this job, they're going to charge me $80 to make any money off you to do something that might be like $100. It's going to be like, $150 to get this ceiling fan or take like the cover off and change 2 wires and be done. And I'm sorry, I can't take it. Yeah. The customers don't know, they have a list of services, and I had a lot of panel upgrades or service upgrades for doorbells. Like these customers don't know. So you have to be careful.
Yeah. I'm with you though. Like I've heard nothing but horror stories, like I said. But after doing my own experience with it, I don't think it's bad. They're very transparent. Like, what you're getting into. They make you aware that you're going to run into these situations, and they try to do as much as they can to help with that. but you can only do so much because it's not like you can teach the customer about electrical. So I've just decided to pause leads and just try to organically.
That's what I'm doing now. There's another service, so it's tied in with Angie's Leads, but it's called.
Is that
Angie's
Home Advisor?
Yeah, Home Advisor is now Angie's List.
Yeah.
And Angie's Leads is like a different.
It's just called Angie, I think.
Okay.
I think is what it is, or something.
And this service is you pay $300 for the month.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But then they'll send you 10 to 12 leads that are personalized for what you want. So that might be a little bit more honed in.
Yeah.
Because the reason I paused was it seemed like the last couple leads I was getting, they were getting poor in quality.
Yeah.
So these people didn't really know. They're just kind of checking like about what the price is. I had a lady call me. She asked me all kinds of questions about electric vehicle, and then she bought a SUV instead. So this might be with people who actually need the service done. They call Angie's List. They're like, "Hey, I need an electrician. I'm at this place," and then that guy might call you himself. So that might be something to try. But right now, I'm paused.
Yeah, I'm trying to not. Because those lead fees, man.
Yeah.
Even when you win it, and I know it's minimal in the grand scheme, but in my head, I'm like, that's, I didn't need to pay that probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So they approached me a different way.
Did they?
It was a flat rate for the month.
That's what I'm talking about with the calls. You get like 10 to 12.
So they were going to charge me just $400 a month, no matter what.
Yeah.
So no matter what happened.
But they guarantee you a certain amount of calls.
I can't remember, but $400 a month, starting out, that's a truck payment.
Yeah.
It is, but if you get 2 jobs from that.
You sound like the guy on the phone now.
Well, it's hard to get out in front of people.
For real, spot on what he told me. He's like, well, if you get that.
To my credit, I told him go kick rocks, guys.
So did I.
But
so did I.
He soft with this program. He soft pitched it, and I was like, he's like, what's your budget, for advertising? I was like, probably $500. He's like, oh, that's fantastic. He's like, we can get you a lot for $500 a month. I was like, no. $500 a year.
Yeah, that's what I thought at first. I was like, $400. Oh, okay, though that's monthly. How are you? Monthly?
Yeah.
What?
I tried haggling with the guy. I told him, because I was already doing the Angie's List or whatever. The opposite.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, if you commit today, it'll be $300. And I'm like, well, how many calls? He's like, that gets you 10 calls a month. And I said, it's just too high.
Yeah.
I said, if you could get it like 15 calls a month, then I'll do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, is this going to be the deal breaker? 5 calls a month? And I'm like, you call me. Is it going to be the deal breaker? You're trying to sell to me. Here we go. Yeah. Now you have a preposition. You can either take the money or get $0.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because what's 5 more leads to them? Nothing.
Yeah.
They can give it to you.
Right.
Why can't they?
And especially when like you said, they wouldn't credit some of those leads, and like you said, they change their mind. They don't ever answer.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Then I'm like, this is somebody hired by Angie to just fill with the, you know what I mean?
I think that too.
They got inside people.
Yeah, because I'll even leave a message after the 100th time, like, hey, if you pick somebody else, that'd be great. Just give me a call, let me know. That would be the last message I ever leave.
Yeah.
But until then, I have to keep calling.
You have to call twice, I think, before you can qualify for a credit. So you kind of do have to badger the guy.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, they if you didn't respond within 15 minutes, but if the dude submits it at 11:30, I don't want to call him at 11:45 and be like, hey, man.
You have to respond within 15 minutes?
I think for the credit, there's some window.
So they tell you their best practice is to respond within the first 10 to 15 minutes to get the lead. They're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've had credits. For me, the credits are just about certain things. So if they requested the wrong job, certain things out of your control and out of their control too. So if they didn't have intent and it was something that you couldn't control, they'll refund it. But
Yeah.
they're stingy. They are.
Yeah.
I had a guy call me. He wanted a scoreboard moved, and I said, "Oh, the electric." And he said, "No, just turn like 45 degrees." I'm like, you know, that has nothing to do with the panel.
You don't want me doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, we're gonna move on from Angie's Lead. I could go on all day. I have tons of stories about Angie's Lead.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Make a whole
starting your own
podcast
business.
just on that.
You learn all these things that you never even thought you'd think about. You know.
Yeah.
I will tell people now, if they say like, "Oh, it's something I was just thinking about. I really don't want it anymore." I say, "Well, please, if they call you, you wanted a plumber.
Yeah.
I'm gonna request that you put in the wrong job.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting charged like $50 for this lead.
Yeah.
And most of the time, most of the time,
Yeah.
people are like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were gonna get charged for me. I was just checking. If they call me, I will." So you can put in there like requested the wrong job, and then they will refund like immediately.
Yeah.
So
it's
if you get one of those, but a lot of the times, like you said, these people don't even answer.
Yeah.
So
or they could have got somebody already. That could have very well happened, but you don't know.
Well, for me, like, you're blowing up my phone and you're leaving me messages, which I hate. You know, if you got spam messages on your phone,
Yeah,
you even have to listen to it. You can just see it. Oh, it's Ray from All Day Electric. You call me 10 times.
Yeah.
It'll be a Texas student saying, like, "I got a guy."
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Is there anything that caught you off guard, like when you went out on your own? Is there anything that hit you that you're like, "Man, I didn't know how much this cost"?
Well, I mean, we were talking about the extension ladder. When I went to go buy an extension ladder, I was like,
oh
my gosh.
Yeah.
And I started racking in my head. I'm like, so why can't I use an aluminum? Like, I'm like, I can do it.
One at a time.
Yeah. But yeah, that was like the first one that I was. And you go on a job site and there's like hundreds of them. I'm like, holy cow, it's like $10,000 in ladders, just like on all the trades, you know.
If you're ever working and somebody comes up and like, "Hey man, can I use your ladder?" You're like, "This company sucks.
Yeah.
Get them out of here."
Yeah.
Now you're the guy like, "Hey man, can I?"
Yeah. Absolutely.
If you're gonna have that here tomorrow, I'll leave mine at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, definitely. Yeah, ladders hit me, but I mean, like I said, I've been doing stuff for a while, so I kind of knew like what tools and material cost and things like that. Although like right now, like it's really hard to keep up for anybody, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't no major shocks like the ladder and kind of like the nature of the work I'm doing. That kind of surprised me, but it was a pleasant surprise. You know, it's working out. I'm happy. It's good. Staying busy.
I guess the biggest shock for me was, I don't know if you have a Yesco or like a height up around where you're at.
I have there's a height in that JCL, and then I come to this Yesco too.
Okay.
Sometimes.
I was shocked how much Yesco like charges over Lowe's.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't even noticed.
Oh man.
I haven't used Yesco a lot.
I get beat up when I go to
Really?
Yesco. Yeah.
Do you have an account?
I do.
I wonder, like, because they were trying to get me to set up an account, and I was like, I don't understand what the perk would. Like, are you gonna give me a discount? Like, what?
Yeah. And they're like, no.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I get they want to see you spending money.
Yeah.
And then you can revisit for like some kind of discount.
Well, I think you could set up like a credit account, which
Oh,
I think
okay.
is how all the big boys do business.
Do you
know
have
what
an
I mean?
account at Lowe's?
I have like a Lowe's Advantage card, and
You want-
just for the 5%.
Okay.
But I haven't really delved into it
Because you
really.
can do the credit. You have like I think they upped it to 60 days. You know,
Okay.
cash down, like, so you could just.
Okay.
It's nice. You go bid a job, and a lot of these times, like I try to get half down for materials, but a lot of these times they're 1-day jobs. You go put it on, the Lowe's account.
Yep.
And then you go get the money, and that way you're not like taking it out of your pocket
Yeah.
just
yeah.
to put it back in like that night.
Yeah, and like it's like the cash flow, like we were saying that really
Yeah.
helps being able to put it. I'm like scared of debt. Like I'm so terrified of debt. But so it took me a little bit to adjust to just be like, well, I'm gonna like it's not even my money technically. Like I'm buying the panel for them that they're going to pay me for. So once I got used to that, like I started using the Lowe's credit card and all that stuff. But Yeah, like I use Scott. I don't know if you set up with Scott.
No, but I have heard. I asked a journeyman that I used to work with. I went and picked his brain a little bit. He was an estimator at one place, and he said that Scott had the best pricing.
Yeah, man, they're very competitive.
So I'm gonna have to, and they'll deliver it to the house. So
yeah, like as long as it's $100 minimum.
Yeah.
Whatever project, wherever you are, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That's
So
nice.
for the bigger jobs, it'd be nice to definitely have that account
Yeah.
and have them, just meet right there with the stuff. They will come a coffee break though. I know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
They will come if you're taking your coffee at 9:15 that day. They're coming at 9:15.
Yeah.
It's like they have a tracker on it.
Yeah, mine is when I have it delivered to the site. Like I will, sometimes I like to play things like pretty close. I'll be like, all right, well I'll get this part of it done, and then by the time they show up at 10, then I can move on to that phase of the project or whatever. Not showing up, and just this last time I was doing a service and I needed the meter offset for the 2-inch PVC, and I was like, it's on the truck, it's gonna be here in like 5 minutes. I know it's gonna be here, and I was like, it's taking too long. I'm gonna go to Home Depot and get it. As soon as I was like halfway there, the Scott guy calls me. He's like, hey, I'm here, I'm pulling it. I'm like, oh my god, I knew you were gonna come as soon as I left.
Okay, we got about 10 people watching right now. Make sure if you're watching, leave a comment. We're gonna give away a free shirt to somebody who's watching. So make sure you drop a line. It could be anything. Hi, what's up?
Yeah.
Hello. We were doing numbers before.
3 people right now out of 10?
Yeah, that's what I see. Let's see what else. So you don't have any employees right now.
No.
What do you think the vision is for your company in the future? Do you see yourself being the guy that's just going and getting jobs and having a guy running a crew?
I want to be, and this might just be like that paranoia that I was just talking about, or maybe a little bit of arrogance, but like
it's your company.
Yeah, and it's like I'm nervous. I'm not even near that. I don't think, maybe when I start getting bigger jobs, I'll get like 1 or 2 apprentices or something like that. Just 1 apprentice.
Right.
But I'm paranoid to set somebody up to like my standards and be like, send them out to put these cam lights in and maybe they're all like all over the place. And I'm like, man, if I just would have done it myself, this would have been, I would have made more money. I would have not lost money on it or something like that. And I'm sure that's not true. There's, like I said, there's much greater mechanics out there than me. Just nervous of like stepping into that territory, know.
It definitely would have to be the right guy.
Yeah.
It would have to be somebody you really, really trust.
Yeah.
But to me, it's there's such a huge disconnect between like what we're doing and having that.
Yeah.
Right? You almost have to grow like tenfold to be able to be like, okay, like I just trust what they're doing now.
Yeah.
And I also feel like it can't be residential.
Yeah.
It's got to be commercial work because residential is a lot of like old work. You're cutting into people's house.
It's a different skill for sure.
Yeah, because I feel like new construction is a completely different field.
Yeah.
To where you can tell guys like, they're supposed to be in this bay, and then you're just working off a tape measure. You can't really screw that up. But like in here, if I wanted cans, not even mapping it out.
Mm-hmm. For proper lighting.
Yeah. That's a task too. So I feel like you almost have to break into the commercial side and really like be running it, and then kind of.
When I first started, I started with Levitt Electric.
Okay.
And I worked he was my journeyman, Chuck Lear. This dude could do like anything. You know what I mean? This guy's just A1, like awesome. And he'd been there forever. And now that I started my own thing, I'm like, how do you find that? Like, how do you find that guy who is just like can do anything? You know what I mean? And
you could trust. You could throw him into anything and just be like, it's taken care of.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like that.
Those people are real assets.
Yeah.
It's almost like hitting the lottery trying to find somebody like
100%, because it's just such a wide field.
Yeah.
And like you said, if you build a house, anybody from our hall you could hire. Throw them prints, they could slap that thing together, no problem.
Yeah.
But like when you start getting into like remodel work and older homes and stuff, it gets a little tough because like these guys that are really good, they're probably really good at high voltage cable or, PLCs or, stuff like that. That's very difficult.
Because it is such a
so
wide
different.
range.
Yeah.
That everybody does have their little niche.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, I just don't know how you find somebody who can just do it all and you're good.
Yeah,
I don't even trust myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too. Some of these jobs you're like, oh.
I gotta like really take some time to like plan it out and do it right.
Because sometimes you gotta call someone and say, hey, I'm running into this issue.
Yeah.
Got any ideas?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I would like to have employees. I guess I just have to get to that point where, like you said, there's a little bit of room for error, I guess.
I think you do have to kind of break out of that residential.
Yeah.
It would be nice to have a crew working, like commercial.
Yes.
And you go do a couple service calls a week.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard somebody, I can't remember the dude's name. It was one of the podcasts I was listening to. And he does like garage door openers or something like that. And they asked him, they would like, bust his balls all the time, be like, when are you going to get out of the field? When are you going to just go in the office? He's like, when I find somebody who can outwork me, I'll put the tool down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like an ego thing a little bit, but it's like you said, it's that nervousness. Like if you're there, you know how it's going.
It's hard to let go of control, especially when you this is you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's your name, it's your responsibility, it's your money.
So no matter what, if that guy screws the job up, it's not coming back on
He can walk away.
Yeah, it's coming back on you.
Sorry.
And also all the negative implications that come with that. So that unhappy customer is not telling them like, so-and-so did a bad job in my house.
It's you.
Yeah.
It's
this company did it.
This name did it.
Yeah, all negative consequences. I mean, this is like a whole leadership like thing. All negative consequences, like that's on you as a leader. Mm-hmm. And all positive consequences, that has to be on the employee.
It's the team.
It's not you. It's them that did it. So it's nice. Obviously, it comes with its rewards, but just getting to the point where you can trust people to like, get in there.
I think Cody's probably gonna hit that problem a lot sooner than we are.
Oh, for sure.
Cody has a lot of jobs where he just needs like extra hands and more bodies. He does a lot more of like bigger jobs, bigger tasks. So he's like he has his dad and his uncle help him a lot.
Yeah. As
like an extra set of hands, but as far as just bringing somebody skilled on, how much would that help you?
Oh, it would help me just immensely. I could double my productivity.
That's kind of what he did with me. He was like, you know what?
So
I struggle electric.
When you went to the store, we were talking.
Yeah.
We were talking about that.
Yeah. So just having that mindset of like, well, if I could just bring a guy in that could do it with me. Just sometimes even just pulling wire with you would,
So I did that. I mean, I essentially did do that with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But as far as like more on the carpentry side,
like drywalling
your scope
and
is
stuff like that.
so much larger than ours. And
I see him do stuff and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
That's not my department. I'll get back to wiring these.
Friday.
Yeah.
I was telling him a little about what we were doing Friday.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh.
Yeah, Cody wanted me to be with him. Like, this could be your problem too, Ray. Like,
misery loves company, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I want that too. I'm like, I just want some like first year to just yell
to be
at
like,
or something like that. When I'm stressed out, I'll be like, all right, listen, we're gonna suck together, right?
Yeah.
No, there's definitely something to just having just one other. I think a first year apprentice would be really cool. And then the other thing I worry about too, like I don't know how busy you stay. I mean, we just started, so there's no like model for us. But I would, if I wanted to take somebody on like a first year or whatever it would be, I'd really want to be able to keep him busy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be worried about week after week after week. Am I going to get this kid 40 hours? Am I going to get this kid?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to put him in that situation. I know I can send him back to the hall and he'll probably get a job in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But just for me, I would feel guilty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because now you are bringing this kid on to help you, but you are also obligated to teach while you're doing this.
Yes.
So, I mean, not a lot of people take that seriously. They kind of use them as a punching bag sometimes, especially the first years. You're like, hey, go get me these bolts, go get me this, go get me that.
Go find the wire stretcher.
But you're supposed to be telling people, hey, can you tighten that crane hook?
Yeah.
But it is your responsibility to teach them. So you kind of have to have that built into your day too, to take that time out and be like, this is why we are doing this.
Yeah.
This is why we can't do it
and
this
like,
way.
not, I mean, on top of like you were talking about like reputation, like if he works for you for like a year and you ship him off and he doesn't know anything when he go, that's on you. Like immediately the next journeyman is gonna be like, what was that guy even doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Our first guest, Jake worked with me on Jameson Hospital.
Okay.
We talked about this. He's fresh, 18, just come out of high school, like doesn't know a lick. But they also just made him organize material. And just kind of like, he was the gopher and he had to like throw trash away and this and that. And he just, for a full year, we were close because we were riding in class and stuff. So I would kind of take him under my wing and stuff. But he's like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? I'm like, it's on the prints.
Yeah.
He's like, where? I'm like, they're right there. Look at them. So he's like looking at him like this. And I'm like, look, they're right here. It shows we have to do this. And we're riding the class that day. And he goes, that's the first time I've ever seen blueprints.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? The next day I went to my foreman. I was like, listen, this kid just looked at blueprints for the first time. He's been doing this for 8 months. Like, time to flip the switch and really start upping like his duties.
Wow.
Like everybody can throw trash away and it's time to get this kid going, because if he does get laid off and he goes to the next job, now they're like, this kid's a fucking idiot. He doesn't know anything, can't do anything, and he's like cursed from the first day.
Yeah,
you're setting him up for failure.
Yeah, you are. And like as a business owner now, on that end of it, you need, if you're bringing on, skill like that, not like a already journeyman or whatever like that. It, like you said, it's your responsibility to train him for his development, but also like you want the dude to do good for you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like
that pays dividends.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're getting it at a reduced rate, because I mean, lots of times these kids are like, dude, they're like knockouts by like third year. Like they could do anything a journeyman could do for the most part.
If you get a guy who's like serious and wants to learn, they're coming to actually like learn. Yeah, you're right. They're, a lot of the times they will leave like a third year and say go at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we touched a lot about the job portion of it. We're going to touch a little bit about you personally. Do you have like a locked in routine every day?
No, dude, I'm a total mess.
That sounds
terrible. No, I have two little ones. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and pretty much my whole like, that's a lot of the inspiration for starting my own thing, is like I just wanted to be present more.
Yeah.
So like my routine is basically, since I've been really fortunate, just weird things have happened, but since my daughter was born almost 2 years ago, my routine has basically just been scheduled around them, you know what I mean? Like whatever,
And that's a definite perk of working for yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. Like I get to drop my kid off at school, and like it sounds so little, but like it makes him so happy, makes me so happy. It's cool. So yeah, basically my routine is very flexible just because of the kids. Now obviously
you wake up every day the same time?
No. Yeah, kind of, sort of.
I don't really.
My son wakes up at like 5:30, 5 a.m. sometimes. Wow. Literally since like the day he was born. Like, and I think it has a lot to do with like being in the trades. We wake up early. I'm making commotion in the house. He knows dad's leaving. He wants to, see what's going on. Yeah. So he would just wake up at that time. Now I don't really need to, because most homeowners don't want you there until like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
He's still up at 5:30, whatever it is, and he's ready to go. So it kind of keeps me in check a little bit. I have to get up at that time, but not really. He's usually like dragging me out of bed. I'm like...
Okay, you do... Now, for anybody who doesn't know, you do a little bit of mixed martial arts, right?
Yeah. So I've done that. Like I wrestled in high school, and then I started doing jiu-jitsu when that was over. Well, actually, I was gonna go to the UFC. You know what I mean? Like that was the game plan. And I got into MMA and all of that, and I I trained for a really long time, and then once, I had kids, back to that, priorities kind of readjust, and I was like, well, I want to stay in the sport, so now I just do jiu-jitsu, which is a little, it's not concussion inducing, so we'll just, keep up with this. Yeah. And, my son's into it now, so it's like something I can share, but yeah, that's definitely
How old is your
a big
son?
part of my life. He's 4.
Okay.
He's 4.5, actually. He'll be 5 in August. But.
So, and you have a baby girl too?
Yep, I have a daughter. She just turned 2, Christmas Eve. So, yeah.
Let's see. Do you read a lot? Do you listen to books? Do you listen to any podcasts?
Yeah, I go through spurts. I do a lot of all of that. The easiest is listening to books or podcasts, because I work by myself, throw the AirPods in, which are one of the best business investments ever. And just, churn away and listen to whatever kind of podcast or book or whatever.
So who are some of the people you listen to? I know Joe Rogan got to be one.
Reference
for sure.
Twice. Yeah, for sure. I'm actually not on the Joe Rogan thing now.
Yeah.
The whole reason I got into Joe Rogan, once again, UFC, MMA, he would have fighters on all the time, so that's what I took from it. He has all kinds of really awesome guests, and I think he had Jocko Willink on there, and that's how I found out about Jocko, and dude, that guy is...
You listened to his book?
Yeah. I read his book. I listened to his podcast all the time. Jiu-jitsu, the dude it's very relatable. All of the information he gives is very relatable. Nika had a convention in Pittsburgh at the Soldiers of Fortune Hall, I think, in Pitt, and Jocko was a speaker there, and it was. I went, Prentice Brown, Frank Tellis, all those dudes. I don't even know how we were able to go. Prentice somehow was like, we can go. I was like, Jocko's there, I'm going. So yeah, Jocko's definitely he's the guy that Extreme Ownership. That was awesome.
So that's what Ron brought up too. Ron last time he read it. I read it. I loved it. I think he's a great speaker.
Yes.
Definitely his podcasts with Joe Rogan are very good to listen to.
Yeah. That mantra, that Extreme Ownership, man. I always feel so cheesy, with the self-help stuff, but it doesn't really feel like self-help stuff, because that's spot on, man. If you don't start taking ownership, things just don't work. And then when you do start taking ownership, it just, you grow from it at least. You
don't have time for anything. You don't have time to sit around and blame it on anybody. And it's funny when you come across somebody, because there are personality types that when you meet them, you're like, oh, they're not taking responsibility for anything in their life. When you listen to them, they're like, oh, I was late because this happened. And this, hey, you were late because you didn't fucking wake up, right?
Absolutely.
I'm tired too. Sometimes I don't wake up and I'm late, but it's on you. Yeah, it's not because I got caught at the red light. I should have left 5 minutes.
I was late because the school bus was.
I got caught.
Dude, and then as soon as you stop doing that, and you're like, I was late because I didn't set aside enough time. Mm-hmm. When you start getting real with yourself. Then you can actually start fixing those things, you know what I mean? Not doing it over and over, so... he's definitely an awesome influence.
Okay, I think that's about it. I did have on here, what's your spirit animal? You got any answer for that?
I don't know.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know?
I
had something else instead of spirit animal. Remember, I was going to ask something?
Yeah, what was it?
And I was like, you know what? That's what we're going to do from now on, because spirit animal is tough.
I would say I really like otters.
What did you say?
So I guess I'd go with an otter. They're pretty cool. But I don't know. We actually just Mill Creek has otters. Mill Creek Park.
Really?
Yeah, they just came back. So my kids and I were just at Mill Creek Park today trying to scope them out. But
Did you see them?
No, but there's some sweet photos on the Mill Creek Park website or something of them catching fish and eating them on the ice.
Oh, that's cool.
Super gnarly. I was that's cool. Awesome. So we'll go with otters, I guess.
Okay. So we got 2 good answers. Why don't we just plug your socials as far as Rev Electric?
Yeah.
Where are you from? Hermitage?
Sharon. Yeah, and I just work out of my house.
Hermitage and Sharon might as well be one place. I have no clue where one ends, one begins. It's just
everybody calls it Shermanage.
Shermanage.
Totally. North of 80, like I know guys from the hall, like north of 80, they're like, whatever. It's just north of 80.
Did you register for Google yet? Did you put your
I have
business
like
on
the
there?
Google business thing on there. That's actually like why I was getting away from the Angie. I really want to get geared towards like website, like booking straight through.
Yeah.
Through my website, get more like millennial, type things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, even the older generation, like that's where they're at now, I think.
That's where it's going.
Yeah, so I set that up, and I mean, I get tons of calls through there, and once I get my actual website going, that'll be hopefully where all my stuff goes through. I use that Jobber service. It's kind of like a CRM software or whatever to like book, quote, invoice, and you can just embed that in your website, and it takes care of those 11:30 at nights inquiries, and I don't have to pay a lead fee.
Okay.
The dude's just like, I just want to get ballpark, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Totally happy to answer that and not pay $50. You know what I mean, to answer that question.
Yeah.
So
Jobber.
yeah, it's definitely
a
sweet. You definitely
we do
should check it out.
QuickBooks. Do you do QuickBooks out?
Yeah, I don't do QuickBooks,
Okay.
but I was going to, and I started using
Jobber instead.
And you can just export all of your stuff from QuickBooks to Jobber. They like work hand in hand.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
But Jobber can replace it if you feel more, confident with that. Dude, I've loved it. It's
What's it cost?
So it just depends. There's layers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the I don't want to say the higher end because that's not the only variable. The other variable is how many employees you have. Because everybody could just download it on all your service techs could download it on their phone. Invoice, bill, quote, like from their phone right there, or their company phone or whatever, right there. But I think it starts at like $29.99 for a month, and I think it goes all the way up to like $200 a month or something like that.
Does it track miles?
Yeah,
It
tracks
tracks
miles,
And it tracks your bank-
hours.
Does it track your bank account too?
Yep. Yeah, you can create
yeah.
expense reports and
Okay.
invoice reports.
So it's just like QuickBooks then.
Dude, it's really awesome. Yeah, it's a really cool community. They just had like I should have told you about this, but they just had a Jobber PD Day, it's like Professional Development Day, and they had like Jocko Willink and like some other like notable like speakers on this like Zoom thing, and lots of business advice. They have like entrepreneurship groups. But
That's
the cool thing about it is like it's all service type people, like landscapers, painters, plumbers, electricians, general contractors. So it's not like you're trying to get like a tech app for like service industry. It's built for service industry. So dude, it's definitely made my life so much easier as far as quotes and everything like that. It's awesome. But yeah, that's that.
That's cool. So we learned something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out.
I'll check it out.
Definitely,
I'll
for
check
sure,
it out.
for sure.
I know QuickBooks. I think it's the bottom tier is like $15 or $16 a month.
Okay.
So
I don't really know what it would. I can't even give you like a price comparison as far as like what you're getting.
Yeah.
But
QuickBooks is nice because you can invoice right there on the spot.
Which I don't use QuickBooks for my invoice. I use another app.
I
like another app.
Really?
Yeah, it's called Joist.
Okay.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
I like that better.
Yeah.
So I keep those for my records. So to sync, it won't sync with QuickBooks. So what I do is I do kind of like a summary of an invoice for what I did. That way the person's name's on it and the job that I did.
Okay.
It's not as detailed, but if I have to go for the detailed one, I just go back to Joist.
Yeah.
That's just how I do it.
No, it's definitely check it out because it's just taking over everything for me because it just makes my life easier.
And do you have a website yet?
No, I got the domain name. I'm
Okay.
working with somebody to like get it's just revelectric.com. And
Have you tried it yourself? Because
I didn't even
Shopify
mess
is
with it.
super user friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
So the person who developed, like who created my logo and things like that, she was just like, ready to do the internet, like kind of gave me like a draft and an idea and everything. And I was like, honestly, the logo is great. She's done very fantastic by me. I was like, why don't you just take care of it? Just pay you and I won't even worry about it. I probably, as I, grow, I'll mess with it more. And then eventually, I should be, adequately skilled to be able to take care of it or fix it or update it or whatever it might be. But
yeah,
I think that's definitely where it's going to be at for sure as far as service work. You know what I mean? because everybody's like, oh, I just Google you.
Yeah.
And you came up, Newcastle electrician or Sharon electrician. You know what I mean?
So your Facebook page is Rev Electric.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris Lozano on Facebook.
Yeah.
Also IG.
Yep.
Your Rev Electric.
Yep.
Is it at Rev Electric?
Oh, it's Rev period electric because there's
Okay.
already a Rev electric
See,
somewhere out
good,
there.
good thing you went over.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty much it. I think that's good episode.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna hit the
Thanks for
GoPro,
having me on.
and we're gonna keep this going a little bit, and we're gonna do a minute to win it here pretty soon. So I'm gonna shut this off. And thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on here. This is very cool.
It was awesome.
Thank you. And good luck. And we'll see you guys in a little bit Thursday, right?
Thursday, yeah.
Thursday's our next one?
Yeah, Thursday's the next one. Yep.
Real estate agent Anna DeFrank.
Mm-hmm.
That's our plan.
That's awesome.
So we'll see you Thursday. So like I said, we're going to keep this rolling.
You can keep the live one going.
Yeah.
Okay.